Hello, everyone. Welcome to ITL Voices. We hope you enjoyed every bit of the last episode. But today we have a special guest joining us from the city of Calgary, and he is the one and only multiple award winning internationally trained lawyer, Charles Osuji. Charles is the managing partner and CEO of Osuji and Smith. He is one of the leading young lawyers in Canada. He has been chosen as one of the top 25 most influential lawyers in Canada, the Entrepreneur of the Year by Diversity magazine, the 2020 Immigrant of Distinction award by Immigrant Services Calgary, and repeatedly voted as one of the top 3 employment and business lawyers in Calgary by 3BestRated, among others awards and recognitions. Charles joined OCG and Smith in 2013 as an articling student and was called to the Alberta Bar in 2014. Charles became a named partner in 2016 and a sole owner of the firm in 2017. He is now leading the fastest growing law firm in Calgary. Welcome to ITL Voices, Charles. Welcome.
Thank you, Ash. Appreciate the kind introduction.
Charles, you have got quite an interesting story, and I cannot wait to share the details with our viewers today. At an age when most lawyers are busy learning their craft, you have already running a law firm of the fastest growing firm in Calgary. How did this happen? Can you walk us through your journey?
Well, thank you again for having me on this platform. I always take advantage of this opportunity to share my story, inspire others. You know, coming to a new country like Canada, you come here with a lot of uncertainties and a lot of self-doubt as well, especially for professionals. You know, you've gone to school wherever you're coming from, you're qualified to practice in your home country, and all of a sudden you're putting yourself and moving to a new country where you don't know a lot of people, you don't have a professional network, and you are more or less going to be reinventing yourself, right? So you come here with a lot of trepidation and self-doubt. And all of that happened to me. I had all of those feelings, and I felt I wasn't sure whether Canada was going to accept me. I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to qualify as a lawyer here. I didn't know if the decision to move from my comfort zone to a new country was a good one. But what I had in me was faith in myself, and also had work ethics, discipline, focus, all of the good stuff. And immediately I came here, I connected myself to a mentoring organization called CRIAC. You know, CRIAC stands for Calgary Regional Immigrant Employment Council. Through CRIAC, I met a lot of good people, especially professionals here in Canada, in Calgary. And my mentor, Mr. Randall, introduced me to a lot of people, and I met Mr. Smith, and I articled under him. I became a lawyer under him in 2014. And then shortly afterwards, I bought into the partnership, and few months later, the opportunity to buy him out presented itself, and I took advantage of that. And that was in 2016 to 2017. And I've been running the firm since then. We grew the firm from a 2-lawyer firm to about 10 lawyers now. And we are also looking at expanding into other cities, expanding the physical space in the office. Yeah, it's been fun along. I'm sure you're going to want to know how all of this happened in a very short period of time.
So what kept you motivated through these challenges you faced when you first landed here in Canada?
Absolutely. I mean, one of the motivating factors is that internal determination to make this work, right? I chose to leave Nigeria to come here. I could have chosen to stay back in Nigeria and continue my practice there. I practiced for just 6 months before I left. So coming here was a decision that I made with the help of my family. And I knew that I was responsible for that decision. I also knew that I was responsible for the consequences of that decision. So that internal determination to make it work, to justify that decision is a significant motivating factor. And this is why I'm inclined to hiring internationally trained lawyers. If you look at my firm, you would see a lot of talents that are international, because I know that they're coming with a drive that is unmatched. You know, they come in with the conviction that they're going to make this work, they're going to make this happen, and they will justify their relocation. So that internal determination was there. And I was also motivated by my family. I have a few older siblings here that are very successful in what they do. And being the 7th child out of 8, I just didn't have any other way to go other than to go up and to, you know, walk in their shoes and be successful. And given the fact that, you know, I'm a racialized lawyer, I know a lot of people are looking up to me, right? A lot of people hear my story and they're inspired And there's I have a lot of followership in terms of people looking at me and knowing that this is possible. They can come here, they can actually succeed. So that is also a motivation for me. I don't want to disappoint anyone that's looking up to me. I don't want to disappoint my family. I don't want to disappoint myself. So that keeps me going, especially my clients too. I don't want to disappoint my clients. These people trust me.
I can definitely tell you, like, you're not disappointing anyone. In fact, that's an inspiring story and an extraordinary one. Yeah.
Thank you. And my clients too. These people, they trust me with their life for the most part. They trust me with their files and the next steps in their matters, and they completely rely on my expertise. So I also don't want to disappoint them. So they're just a cacophony of motivational factors or motivating factors that drive me every day.
Since you spoke more about the work ethics in your previous answer, and also now you cater to client, what exactly do you feel the young lawyers are missing and needs to more concentrate on the files and the clients, how to make your clients happy, and a little more on your work ethics, like what exactly goes into building that? Yeah.
That's a very good question. Now I've taken up the role of a mentor. I have lawyers that go through my office and become, lawyers after becoming students. Currently, I have about 5 volunteers, and I wish I could have more. And that's one of the reasons why I'm expanding the office. I could have so many volunteers, people that can learn from me and from the rest of the lawyers in the firm. What I tell everyone is, at the very beginning of your practice, focus on learning. You have to be hungry for knowledge. You have to be hungry for getting competent, becoming competent. That is very, very important, because many people, first year, they start focusing on money, and they start losing sight on experience, learning. And integrity is very, very important as well. If you make a promise to a client, keep it. If you're unable to fulfill that promise, let the client know that you're not able to fulfill it, right? One of the driving forces for my firm's success is, sticking to the plan with the client, providing good quality services. It doesn't matter if the client is from legal aid. It doesn't matter if the client is pro bono. Your reputation is as good as the last client, right? When a client comes to me, they don't care what I've done for other people. They don't know. What they care about is what I do for them, right? So my first 2-3 years of practice was just getting my hands dirty, working 15-16 hours every day, working 7 days a week. So that by the time I took over the firm, 2-3 years into practice, I was able to manage the firm. I was able to cater to the lawyers, supervise them, cater to the clients, market, brand, and all of that, because in the first few years of my practice, I dedicated my time towards learning. That's very, very important.
That actually leads to my next question. You are practically an entrepreneur and a lawyer now. We know how demanding it is to be a lawyer alone itself. How do you balance between the two?
It is challenging. Back in law school, they never teach you how to be a business person. They just teach you law all the time. And if you happen to own your own practice, you quickly realize that actually 80% of what I do every day is business, and 10% would be supervision, mentoring, and then maybe 10% law, right? It is a sensitive balance you have to strike as a business owner and as a lawyer. On the one hand, you are responsible for branding the firm. You're responsible for bringing in work, selling your expertise to clients, because it's all about sales. When a client is talking to you, they've chosen to talk to you out of thousands of other lawyers. So you have to stand out. You have to be able to exude some confidence that you're able to help them, go from point A to point B. So there is sales involved. On the other hand, once the file comes through the door, you have to do the work, and you have to do the work very well. Lawyers do not guarantee success to clients. However, if you don't do the work, the clients will know. If you're not motivated enough to help the clients will know. Part of what we've done so far is to make sure that each client is looked after specifically. And if you go to some of the awards that we've received, is overwhelming. We've received top rated on almost 5 categories, and that's year after year, plus other awards. If you look at our Google reviews, 4.8 out of 190 reviews. Those are recognitions that are a demonstration of what we bring to the table for the client. So as a business owner, you are worried about bringing in work, and as a lawyer, you must do the work to the best of your knowledge and the best of your capacity. So it's a fine balance that you have to strike, and not everyone has the skill set to be a business owner and a lawyer. It's not for everyone. Some people are what I call farmers, while some people are hunters, while some people are both. As a business owner and as a lawyer, you're a farmer and a hunter. But some people are better off, you give them work, they grind, they do the work. While some people, they are better off getting work and pushing work to other people to do.
That's an interesting insight to know how articling students or like young lawyers needs to inculcate to learn how to be involved in business development at the same time learn lawyering. Yeah.
Exactly.
So what sort of challenges have you faced running your own law firm, given that you trained outside trained lawyers as well, people who are not trained here in Canada? Did you experience any sort of pushback or underwhelming acceptance from the Canadian legal community while doing that?
I don't think I experienced any lack of acceptance. In fact, I find the NCA process to be very welcoming. I don't find it daunting. Some people may disagree with me, but coming from Nigeria, I don't know if anyone has told you the stories from law school in Nigeria, how the exams are put together and structured, is a do or die affair, writing exams in Nigeria. So when you go through that process and you come here, the NCA is relatively easier process.
Okay.
All you need to do is, get assessed, read up, and make sure that you focus on reading and understanding the courses before you write. Some people, unfortunately, they get carried away with survival jobs. They don't spend enough time to prepare. And then the fact that it's open book, they think it's not going to be as serious. But if you work hard and prepare, you're going to pass the NCA. So I find that process welcoming. Compared to doctors that are trained outside of Canada, is a more daunting process to qualify as a doctor in Canada versus lawyers. So to that extent, I find the process welcoming. The challenges I faced included not having a professional network. I mean, you can't just go from coming into the country and then all of a sudden you're running a firm of over $40,000, $50,000 overhead every month, but you do not have people that you went to law school with, people that you went to high school with, people that you went to university with here. So I had to start from this scratch to build a network for myself by joining mentoring organizations, being on the board of so many organizations, being all over the place over the weekend, focusing a lot on branding, social media, LinkedIn, websites. I was telling one of my staff the other day, it cost us about $30,000 just to build a website, but it's paying off. And then doing the work that comes your way very, very well with all your heart and with all honesty. There's no better branding and marketing than doing good work. You do good work, the client is impressed. They take it upon themselves to refer you out to other people and vouch for you in your absence, right? And it's so organic. It takes one client. I've helped a client before, and then that client has given me multiple clients, and then the multiple clients are giving me other clients. So that was how I have grown the firm. Right now, we're not even looking for work. We're so busy. Even when COVID hit, we got too busy during COVID. I hired 8 more people in the firm, right? Because of the seeds that we've sown over time, the seeds of honest work and dedicated services, right? So that's how I've been able to overcome not having the professional network at the beginning. Right now, I'm all over the place, which is deliberate because of the work I've done in the community. So another thing too is self-doubt. I mentioned that at the very beginning. I have an accent, and you're wondering, would people accept me? Given the color of my skin, the tone of my voice, would people give me a fair chance to show them that I actually know what I'm doing, right? And you realize that, as much as racism, discrimination still exists, whether we like it or not, is here. It hasn't gone. But basically, people are looking for someone that will help them, especially in the legal industry. When clients are desperate, they are really, really desperate. When someone is being sued for divorce after 30 years, or has lost their employment after 25 years of dedicated services, or is buying their first home, or is looking to buy a business from their life savings, they are desperate. They're looking for the best. They're looking for someone that can help them. And at that point of need, they're no longer looking for, they don't really care. As much as it matters the color of our skin and the tone of our voice, what they're really looking for deep down is someone that can help them go through that situation successfully. And if you are able to help them get out of that situation successfully, that's all that matters for the most part. And they'll come back again and again, and the way you sound, the way you look will no longer matter as much. right? So I keep telling people the antidote to discrimination and racism is bringing your A game all the time, right? If others are putting in 10%, they're putting in 110% consistently. That is what's gonna help you stand out. And once you're consistent in bringing your A game to the table, what happens is magic, success, and progress. There's just no two ways about it. And that is my story.
It's actually unprecedented in COVID times that you are gaining clients, and where people and other law firms are laying off many of their articling students or associates. You have recruited 8 of them. That's commendable.
Thank you.
Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
So, secondly, I just wanted to know, a lot of ideals are watching this episode today that may be interested in owning up their own practice, or maybe eventually, like a lot of people, will be approaching you for opportunities.
Right.
What do you think sets you apart from the competition? Could you shed some light on how have you managed to keep your firm going and not surviving but thriving? Like, since we spoke, even in COVID times.
Right. Absolutely. Well, you cannot really place a particular factor as the determining or the deciding factor for thriving rather than surviving. It's just a bunch of factors. I can just give you examples. Number one, treating your staff very kindly. Treat them with kindness. Maybe I'm able to relate because I was an employee not long ago. Right? I knew exactly how I wanted to be treated. And I'm trying my best to also make sure that they're treated that way. If your employees are happy, they'll make you succeed. Yeah, they will make sure that they work hard and ensure that the firm or the organization is successful. So that is one. Secondly, as I said before, knowing that your reputation is as good as the last client. So bring your A game to the client. It doesn't matter if the client's the paying client, indigent client, legal aid, pro bono, or whatever it is. Make sure that you're doing good work. With all honesty, I mean, if you care about a client's file, the clients will know. If you don't care, the clients will know. They just know, right? So bring that to the table and do that consistently. I've been doing this for 6-7 years now consistently, and I'm reaping the fruits of it. And thirdly, have a very strong support group. You need to have a tribe of supporters along the way. You cannot succeed alone. Whether you want to own your own practice, you want to work for someone, whatever you want to do, you want to make sure that you have at least 3 or 4 solid people that you can call at any time of the day, and they will tell you, they share their thoughts with you. These are people that are either established in the industry, people that are older in age, people that have more experience than you do, or people that you look forward to. You need to have those people on standby. Sometimes you run into issues, you think that those issues are issues or deal breakers. They tell you that no, there's nothing here. When the opportunity to buy the firm came about, I didn't want it at all. I thought it was too early. I thought it was too risky. I thought I was going to make a jest of myself. I went to my support group and they told me that I could do it. It was a good opportunity. I should go for it, and they would support me. And on the strength of their recommendation, I went for it. And it's one of the best decisions I ever made. So have a very solid tribe of supporters, people that will catch you if you fall, or, as I put it, prevents you from falling, right? Then number 4, you need, if you're going to be a business owner, you cannot have your interest come first. Okay. It's not going to happen. You can't. This is not a question of receiving biweekly checks anymore. No. There are so many commitments that must be satisfied before you are satisfied. Many people don't know this. The first year of taking over the firm, I didn't pay myself a dime. I didn't pay myself a salary. Not that there was no money to pay myself, but I wanted to learn the discipline of not paying myself for so long and making sure that everybody else is looked after. Because as a business owner, you have expenses, you have wages, you have payroll, you have all of these things that must be catered to before you are catered to. So you need to be able to have that level of selflessness and discipline to ensure that everything else is going before you look after yourself. Then finally, you just need to have that faith that everything will be fine. When COVID happened, my faith was shaken, I'll tell you, because I wasn't sure what the heck was going on. But within a week or two, I told myself that we can do this, right? So you need to have that internal conviction that regardless of what comes your way, you would succeed.
Since you spoke about mentors, having a solid group in the industry and mentors, So how significant, and you also significantly talk about Bruce Randolph from Craig
Right.
contribution in shaping your career and as well as shaping you as a professional. So how important that is in your life, and what would you like to share with the viewers today?
Absolutely.
Networking and some tips on that. Yeah.
Good point. Back in Nigeria, networking is not a thing, right? I started hearing about it here. Back home, you have your uncles and your aunts, and they're connecting with other people, and you really don't have to do much. Simply reach out to your family, and then the connection is fine. But here, it's more so for people like us that have left our comfort zones to come here. You have to be very intentional about networking and mentorship. Part of my success is mentorship, and I couldn't emphasize that enough. Before I met with Mr. Randall, my mentor, I had not met any lawyer. I was running around factories, wearing, steel toe boots and hard hats and working in warehouses. And I would tell people that I was a lawyer and people would not take me seriously. Then I met with my mentor, and I will never forget the way he made me feel. I don't remember the details of our conversation, but I remember how I felt. For the first time in Canada, someone with over 25 years of experience was sitting across from the table and seeing me as a lawyer, understanding my journey, understanding what I wanted and what I needed to achieve. So that was an overwhelming feeling. It was a feeling of validation, a feeling of recognition, and a feeling of this person gets me. This person understands my journey, where I'm going and where I'm headed. So even if he didn't do more than that, feeling validated, feeling recognized, feeling seen as a lawyer was a booster for confidence, right? And then the relationship continued afterwards. The thing with mentorship is mentorship doesn't end; it continues, right? From when I was looking for articles to when I became a student of law, to when I became a lawyer, to when I became a partner, to when I became the owner of the firm, even to hiring and firing. I still reach out to him. What do you think? Now that I'm looking at building another facility in the office and expanding by over 100% of capacity, I'm still in touch with him, for directions. So having that fallback person to connect to is very important. And for the lawyers coming into the country, reach out to people like me and connect. Not necessarily for articles. That's a mistake people make. They think they have to talk to me because they're looking for articles. That is incorrect. Even if I do not have articling position to give you, the fact that you've connected with me and I looked at the resume and we've had a chat 30, 20 minutes, I'm able to vouch for you in your absence. And that happened a few days ago. So it's a lady that came from Nigeria connected with me on LinkedIn. We chatted a few times. I think she even came to the office and we connected. And a lawyer that was interviewing her reached out to me via email asking me about her, and I took the opportunity to sing her praises. And that was it. She's starting her articles next week, because she reached out. And the relationship doesn't end there. She's going to face a lot of challenges as an article student. There's going to be a lot of culture shock. She's going to want to know whether to take work home, whether to work weekend, and a lot of questions that she will still have during her articles. And I'm available for those questions, right? So connecting with people is very important. And in this part of the world, all you need to do is just reach out. Just reach out, and 99% of the time, someone is going to get back to you and be open to that connection. This is what helped me. I was connecting with so many people in a very short period of time. And these are the people that are referring clients to me, people that are vouching for my integrity, even when I'm not there, right? Because they know me. Nobody would vouch for integrity without knowing who you are.
So speaking of this again, if you're connecting with somebody, do you just connect with them on probably surface level, like once or twice, or you need to maintain that connection as long as you go into your career? How have you delved into that? And because a lot of times people do not respond, and people are also hesitant while approaching. So whether to approach or not, whether it seems to be a little pushy from the student's end or something like that. So does it needs to be a one-time call, or needs to be an ongoing basis? How would you address that?
First of all, networking is different from connecting. Some people, they just reach out to you once and that's it. And they think they're networking. They're not they're networking, but they're not connecting, right? If I'm thinking of taking on a student, I don't remember you because you only reached out once. And some people also reach out transactionally, in the sense that they reach out and the very first thing they tell you is they're looking for articles. The very first thing they tell you is that they're looking for something. They want a favor. They want you to do something for them. So right off the bat, you can tell that that connection is not honest, it's not sincere. So you have to make sure that your connection is sincere. When you reach out to someone, first of all, what do you know about this person? What do you know about their journey? Give the person the impression that you've kind of researched them a little bit. You're interested in their journey. You know one or two things about them. Ask them to tell you their story. Ask them to tell you what they did differently to get to where they are. Be interested in them. You know, people like that, right? And don't say much about what you're looking for. If you're looking for articles, ultimately I will know that you're looking for articles, but I want to make sure that you are not just reaching out for a transaction with me. I've had someone reach out, and whenever anyone reaches out, I always bring them to the office to introduce them to my lawyers. I've had someone reach out, and we scheduled a date for the person to come to my office. And a few days before that date, the person emailed me telling me that she was no longer coming to see me because she had found articles. You know, I found that a little insulting because it clearly means that this person didn't just care about connecting. They just wanted articles, and that was it. And now that she has found articles, you know, continuing to come around and keeping in touch no longer matters to her. And that is absolutely wrong, because life begins after articles, doesn't end with articles. In fact, life doesn't even start after articles. Life starts after you're called to the bar. You know, that is when all of these connections will begin to make sense. You're looking for precedents. You have a file. Your principal is not giving you any clues on the file. You are reaching out to the network that you've established over time, right? So be sincere in your connection and be intentional. You know, give yourself, say every month you check up on this person, and there's only something of value you can add to the connection, right? I've had people reach out to me and say, "Hey, Charles, I looked at the employment law page on your website and I saw a typo on the second line. You might want to fix it." A connection like that, I will always remember, because this person is coming to me with some value. You know, regardless of where I am, there's always something to learn from other people. You know, and or someone can reach out and say, "Hey, Charles, I saw this interview that you granted the other day. I really liked what you said about being motivated, and you show that this person is interested in your journey, and naturally you would be inclined to have an ongoing relationship with that person."
Thank you so much for being here today with the ITL Voices, Charles. It was an insightful conversation, and I'm sure the motto is going to be dance in the rain for all the potential students who want to become a lawyer or are in the process of becoming a lawyer. Thank you so much for being a part of this.
Thank you, Ash. Appreciate the opportunity.